let me just make it fit the screen properly. Alright, so I'm going to go over this one more time, and we can just edit it. So, this is your dashboard. We are completely finished with the development of AFv3, the DogPound migration, and the full range optimization protocol. We want to get out the DogPound migration first because there's people that are already invested into the platform. They already have their DogPound positions, and we don't want to be doing major marketing of the AFv3 components to new people, bring them in, and then have them have to go through this migration a week later. So this is why we're doing the DogPound migration first, and then we're going to announce the launch date of the full V3 range optimization protocol, and have a nice 4 to 5 week strong promotional campaign up until and after launch. And we already have some very big influencers secured. Altcoin Daily, Data Dash, Ivan on Tech, Coin Insider, the biggest channels in the space we've secured, first and foremost because they understand the utility and they realize how we're about to revolutionize the space with truly decentralized technology that actually provides value to the user and is not just paying out yield through inflation, but paying out yield in a way that is completely independent from inflation and even dependent on the assets that the users are deposited, and 100% dependent on the profit that those assets are earning through trading fees and syrup pool staking. So there's nothing like it that exists in the space. There's nothing like it that exists even off of BSC on other networks. We're going to push it on BSC first for PancakeSwap, and then we're going to look to bring it to other networks. But there's so much that we're ready to do for Animal Farm, and this is the first big step towards true utility and having a real strong product that is now owned by the existing user base of Animal Farm, because Animal Farm was built from the ground up to be a protocol that allowed users to utilize their asset in the system to get a shared ownership of the platform itself. And now this is the first big step to have a strong product on the platform that the owners of the platform are now benefiting from. So it's like if you had a service where you could buy into a share ownership of it, but they didn't have a product or some kind of service yet. It may be worthwhile if they have a strong plan to develop that. But until they actually develop that, you're an owner of a platform, but is that platform driving profit and driving cash flow? And this is our first big step into driving cash flow from outside of our own ecosystem to the users. So I was saying earlier in the stream that the first step is doing the DogPound migration. So then this way, that's out of the way, and anybody who sees our promotional run-up to launch that's getting in will get in under this new model. So as you see at the top of the dashboard, we have AFD metrics. This is global values. So the supply of AFD, the amount in the dog pound, and the price of the asset. This is on a side chain right now because obviously it's not live on mainnet. It will be live on mainnet on Friday. So this is a fork of BSC. Now, my metrics shows your loyalty score. And then these three other tables are showing your personal data about your account. So this auto compounding pool is showing what you're earning in AFP, what's available for you to claim, the amount of AFD that you have staked, the total amount of AFD that you've earned, and the total amount of LP that you've earned. Because when you get into the auto compounding dog pound pool, you're earning BNB, and that BNB is being utilized to buy dogs, AFD, pairing it on your behalf, and putting it to work for you, as opposed to just having the BNB sit in the contract, earning nothing. You're still earning that BNB, but it's actually being utilized for you in a way that is earning you compound interest through continued pairing and staking of profits that are being earned in the system in the form of BNB. And your AFP sits available for you to claim. Now, the linear pool does not utilize your BNB. It takes the BNB that you're earning and it puts it in the contract available for you to withdraw. So there are two strategies here. The auto compounding is, of course, the more powerful of the strategies, and also provides a greater weighting on the tax reduction. So the auto compounding pool reduces taxes by 1% a day, whereas the linear pool by 0.75% a day. So we're building the incentive around the auto compounding pool because it's a stronger tool for the user, and it drives capital into AFD in a more efficient way. Now, the NFT metrics. So this is something that I'm going to get into, but we have made a major update to the Dogpound. With the Dogpound, you now have an NFT that represents your tax reduction associated with the stake that you created. And the reason why we did this is to tighten up the tokenomics and the economics of our model. So previously, people were staking non-native assets to earn AFD, taking that AFD that they were earning, putting it into the Dogpound, where they were getting a tax reduction. AFD starts out with a 90% tax and allows you to reduce your tax by an additional 84%, getting you at a base tax of 6%. So at a rate of 1% a day tax reduction, people were putting their AFD in a stake for slightly under 3 months, maxing out their tax reduction, withdrawing, and then restaking it, building up greater tax reductions on the same AFD, which is fine. It's not an exploit. It's not anything malicious, but it does create a negative economic pressure when people do this to build up a buffer. So any new AFD that they're earning, they've already built up the tax credit for it, and they can always stay ahead of that and effectively always be able to sell the AFD that they are earning, as opposed to having to put that specific AFD in the staking vesting model to earn the tax credit on that specific AFD, which is a much stronger economic system for the AFD asset and for the platform as a whole. It really is the last mechanic that needed to get in line to just really put all incentives in place to maximally benefit the platform and the users of the platform. So this NFT metrics is how you can manage your farm positions when you pair AFD BUSD and AFD BNB to farm AFP in the Pigs Mastership contract utilizing the NFT. And it's relatively simple when you see the way that we allow for this, and that's what I'll get into now. So, as you can see, this is what the dashboard would look like if you already had stakes that you withdrew from. If you have not had any stakes that you've withdrawn from already, then your dashboard, as far as the way that your stakes look, are going to look essentially the same. If you have a stake that you've withdrawn from, you need to deposit that AFD into the stake in order to mint the NFT, which then holds that AFD and allows you to spend it with the tax credit. So the way that this works is, so if you see here, it says AFD in the auto compounding pool, a 9% tax reduction, and it's 0.0099999 AFD. This means, since it's 9% tax reduction and a 1% tax reduction a day, you know the stake's been in here for 9 days. So 9 days before we push the migration, the stake would have been created. And in order to get credited for this stake, you will hit migrate. It will tell you the amount of AFD that you need to deposit in order to mint the NFT. First, you have to approve the dogs, of course, because you want to spend it. So I'm going to do that. Okay, let me just reset my nonce because we're on a side chain and we just deployed it. You have to reset your nonce. You have to basically just clear your nonce because it's still looking at mainnet as far as the nonce goes. So, okay, I've done that. So let me just see. Let me refresh. Okay, so migrate, approve. There we go. See, it's instant. That just it was just delaying because I'm on a side chain, and when you're on side chain, you have weird nonce things that happen. So I approved it. I will migrate. So now I'm sending 0.0999 AFD to that stake, and now you see it minted this NFT for me. Now, this NFT says there's 0.009999 AFD in the NFT, and the total amount of AFD in the NFT can be 0.099999. Now, why is there a total amount and the amount in the NFT? The reason for that is because you can use this AFD in the NFT, but still have your tax credit. So, for example, if I was to select this NFT, you see it pops right down here. And now I can utilize it. For example, if I wanted to sell some, I could go over here. I could put in the amount I want to sell. It's 0.001. I have to approve the NFT to spend. On MetaMask, it says there's a little pop-up that says your NFT might be at risk. Blah blah blah. This is just because when you approve an NFT, you're approving all of the NFTs that share that contract address. So, for example, all AFD NFTs have the same contract address, but they have different IDs. And that's the way all NFTs work. Bored Ape Yacht Club, or whatever it's called. They all share the same contract address. They have different IDs. So, when you approve an NFT, you're approving the contract address, which means you're approving all of the other NFTs that share that contract address. So that's why it's giving you a security risk, just to let you know, hey, you're not just approving this NFT, you're approving any NFT associated with your wallet that shares this contract address. And it's letting you know that because if you were to go to a phishing site or something like that, and you give approval for it to spend one of your NFTs, you would be giving it approval to spend all of your NFTs that share that contract address, and you wouldn't just be putting that one NFT at risk, right? So that's what that's about. So I approved it. In this case, I'm entering the farm. So I approved 0.001 AFD to go into the farm with this much BNB. I've created a AFD BNB LP and put it into the farm. And now I have a farm that is earning AFP. Now, when you look at the NFT, you see 0.00899999 out of a total 0.009999. So that lets you know that 0.00099 AFD is in the LP. So this allows you to efficiently track how much you have and what stake is associated with it. So you can see here, this is NFT ID 000, and now this is NFT ID 000, so it lets you know this is associated with this stake. Now, if I wanted to sell some AFD, I could come here and say I want to sell 0.001. Or actually, let me just do 0.005 to make the math a little more clear. So 0.005. Alright, I gotta approve it first. I have to approve it because this is a different contract. This is a selling contract and not the farming contract. And now I sell. When I sell, it's going to apply my 9% tax reduction. And now, when you go up here, you see, I have 0.004999 total AFD. The reason for that is because I just spent some of it, 0.005, I just sold it. So that means I only have the 0.0049999 that can be sold with this tax reduction on it. Now, if I transferred AFD, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to use some of my tax credits when I transfer. Now, why would you want to do this? Right? Why would... let me just get a contract. Let me just get an address to send to. Why would you want to send AFD to someone like this? So I just transferred it, and now you see I only got 0.003999 left to spend with this tax reduction, and only 0.002999 is on the NFT because the other bit is sitting in the stake. If I go to manage stake, you can see, well, this is the LP amount. If I was to withdraw it, you would get back the AFD and BNB associated with that stake. Now, why would you want to transfer AFD like this? If you wanted to send AFD to somebody, but you did not want to send it to them in a way where they would have a tax credit. So, you're a streamer, you own a group, you're an influencer, you want to credit someone with some dogs, you want to send them dogs, you want to send a reward, but you want to make sure they can't immediately dump on the market. And you want to not have a full tax applied when you send it to them. So you want to send it to them and not be taxed when you send it, but when they get it, they cannot immediately dump it in the market because they would be taxed if they were to sell it. You can use your tax reduction when you send it to them, and when they get it, they have no tax credit now. Now, what if you do want to send it to someone in a way where you don't get taxed and they don't get taxed? So, for example, you want to send the AFD to your other wallet. It's simple. You just send the NFT to the other wallet. So this is how you can transact dogs from one wallet to the other without being taxed. You can do it by sending the NFT itself. And this adds more utility to our system and makes it easier to manage your AFD. So there's multiple options. You want to send your AFD to a different wallet? You can do it without being taxed through sending it in an NFT. You want to send it in a way where you won't be taxed, but the person who gets it will pay a full tax or will need to stake it in order to get tax reduction. You do it in a transfer like that. Now, what if I'm perfectly happy with this stake? I'm earning on it. Things are going very well. I'm very happy with the AFP that I'm earning. But I'm still earning AFD in my non-native farm, right? So the range optimization is going. I'm earning AFD. I want to take some profit off AFD, but I don't want to remove my LP position. That's fine. You're not forced to do that. All you have to do is go here, click this plus sign. If you hit max, it's going to tell you the amount that you can fill up that NFT. So the NFT will be at its total. Approve it. And this, you don't have to do this to spend the NFT. You could spend the whole NFT right now. But if you, well, you could spend all of the AFD that you have in your wallet. You could spend all of the AFD that you have in the NFT right now. You would still have a little bit of AFD in this stake. So you would still have a little bit of a tax credit. So let me just give an example of this. So if I want to sell the rest of this, so I sell, I come over here, I hit max, I sell. Okay, I sold them. I canceled the first transaction. That's why you saw one that rejected. Because when I came over here, I hit approve or withdraw, and I canceled that so I could show. So see, you still have 0.00999 AFD associated with this stake. Why? Because it's still in your LP position. But what if I want to use the rest of this AFD credit, but I don't want to remove it from here because I'm happy with what I'm earning here, and I don't want to have to remove it, but I'm earning AFD in other places. I won some in Piggy Plinko. I made some in the range optimization tool, and I want to take some profit, but I don't want to remove my stake. That's fine. You come here, you click the plus button, you top up. That's the rest that I have available, the rest of the credits I have associated with this NFT. I approve it. I approve to spend this amount of AFD that I want to send to the NFT. And now I send the AFD to the NFT. Now, I have 0.000999 in the NFT, and that's the total amount. I still have my stake here. I want to sell this to use the rest of this credit. I sell it. And now, that NFT is gone because I've used all of the credits. Now, even though that NFT is gone, you still have this position in here. Why? Because that is capital that you added to the liquidity pool that you never removed. And even though it was added by the NFT, you used all the credit associated with that NFT by filling it back up. And you still have this credit. So it was important that we allowed you to continue to manage stakes that were added by NFTs, even if you use all of the credits associated with those NFTs. And we also didn't want a bunch of stakes to build up that were used and had no credits left just because you still had stakes associated with them. So now, what happens if I was to withdraw this? So I go to manage. I withdraw. Let me just withdraw some of it at first. Look at my balance here, right? So 116,222. This is my wallet balance. Okay, so I withdrew from the stake. I only withdrew half. Now you see 36227. So instead of it going back to the NFT, since the NFT had no more credits in it, it just goes right back to your wallet, right? So essentially, the ownership of this stake was passed to your wallet instead of the NFT, because the NFT has no more credits. So now I'll just withdraw the rest of it from here. And the stake doesn't exist anymore. So now I could migrate more, or I could come here and withdraw. So say I want to withdraw this. It's asking me how much do I want to withdraw. We made these boxes a little more clear to show that this is like an input box. Previously, it was just kind of there was not this input box with the arrows and the blinking cursor. It just makes it a little more clear that this is not a binary of 0 or max. You can actually come in here and put in anything you want. I'll put in 1. Withdraw. And now I have a stake, 73% tax reduction, and I withdrew 1 AFD, right? And now I come here. I sell it. Just to show how it works, if you just did this immediately, it just disappears. See? So I used all the tax credit associated with that NFT. Now it's gone. I'll do another one. Actually, I'm going to do a bunch now, so you can see how the table looks. I'm very happy with this UI. It's a very clean UI. It's a very intuitive UI. I know when I'm going through everything and all the different scenarios, it seems like, well, there's a lot here. But for every individual thing that you want to do, it's easy, it's intuitive, all the data is there. And, you know, we just made it clean and easy, and I'm happy about that. So I'm going to keep withdrawing these stakes here so you can see what it looks like. Alright, I'm going to leave 1 in there. Okay, let me just show the migration process one more time as well. Well, actually, let me show the table first. So, as you can see, here's 3 NFTs, and there's an arrow here to show that you can go over to the right, and you can go through your NFTs. You click on one, it shows up down here. So, see? The ID is at the bottom to make it easy. By default, they're sorted by the sequential order. So 2, NFT ID 3, NFT ID 4. Now, you can choose to sort by a whole bunch of different metrics. NFT and ID, most AFD in NFT, least AFD in NFT, most total AFD, least total AFD, most AFD in LPs, least AFD in LPs, highest tax reduction, lowest tax reduction. And see, I go to highest tax reduction, and now it will start with 84, 73, 71, lowest, 71, 71, 73, 84. Most in NFT right now it's 0.1. Least 0.0001. And now, if you don't want to have to scroll like this, you can choose this table method. And when it's in this method, it looks small, but when you mouse over, or if you're on mobile, when you just put your finger over it, it blows up to make it full size. So you don't need to click on them and go down here. You could just see them really quickly, right, at a glance. Know all the values. And all of the values are here. And then the other mode allows you to just look at it as kind of pure information without the visual content, without the art associated with it. And this is just a more compact way to organize it, but we wanted all of the available options. Now I can migrate this last one, go through that process one more time, and see. Now you don't see that dialog, or you don't see that input box with the arrows and the cursor. This is what lets you know it's a binary option. It's either you deposit this much or not. So I'm giving approval for it. And now migrate. And now that NFT is there. And it's not, and the reason why we didn't put like oldest NFT, youngest NFT is because it's sequential. So the oldest NFT is always going to be the oldest, or is always going to be the highest number. So you can just sort by NFT ID, and the lowest number is going to be the first NFT that you created that still has credit, and the last one is going to be the last one. Now, if I want to stake, it's the same as it was previously, right? So I want to stake dogs. Approve dogs. One thing that we changed is the approval model. So previously, when you went to approve a token, it would fill either with the amount in your wallet or a very large value, like Solidity Web3's version of like an infinite amount. MetaMask upgraded not that long ago, and when they did, they allowed for you to set a custom and a default. And what we did was make it so when you click default, it just approves the amount you're trying to spend. Oh, when I say custom or default, I mean default or max, actually. So we changed it so when you do default, it just does the amount you're trying to spend. And this is better for security reasons because you're not giving approval to tokens that you don't want to spend right then. That way, you give approval to the amount of tokens you're trying to spend, you spend them, and now there's no additional tokens that you've given spending approval on. And it's a much better method. So previously, MetaMask had max, which was like an infinite number, or custom, where you can put in a specific amount you want. And now we have default and we have max. And max is the amount in your wallet, and default is the amount you're trying to spend at that time. And default is always going to be the better protocol for security. Now, I've just created a stake. since I've created a stake, I cannot withdraw. So I'll just test it out, but I cannot withdraw. See, withdraw failure. Why? Because there's a 24-hour waiting period from the time you deposit to the time you can withdraw. And why is that? It's because we have a auto compounding model which is looking at what was earned over the past 24 hours and then in AFP tokens and paying that to stakers. So we need to ensure that people are in there for at least 24 hours before we allocate them 24 hours worth of rewards. And we do that by ensuring that they cannot withdraw for up to 24 hours before before deposit, or after deposit, I should say. This way, people cannot deposit right before we allocate those rewards and then withdraw immediately after. So, essentially, we look, okay, when did you deposit? Have you been in for over 24 hours? If so, we can allow you to do withdrawals now. And the reason for that is because we look at what people have earned in rewards over the past 24 hours and then reward them with it. So you'll notice AFP rewards pay out every 24 hours. So we don't want people to deposit right before those rewards are allocated and then withdraw right after. Right? So we prevent that through a 24-hour buffer between the time you can deposit and the time you can withdraw. So now I'm going to move block time forward. Okay. And I'm going to create some stakes. Okay, I just gave approval for the NFT. Now I'm giving approval for the BUSD. Alright, now I'm going to add it in. Okay, so as you can see, this one that I added, the tax reduction went up by 1%, so that means 1 day has passed. And now, previously, it would not allow me to withdraw. Let me try now. I think a whole day has passed, but we will see in a second. Alright, let me move the time forward a little bit more. Okay, pushing time forward. Okay, now it says 2%. Let me see. There we go. See? Now we've been in for longer than 1 day, and withdrawals work. So, okay, let me try to do another deposit here. BUSD. We are on a side chain, so it's slow to move blocks. It's not as slow as real life, but it's still pretty slow. And we have such a tiny amount of LP here. We're gonna have to move a lot of blocks to actually see AFP available to claim, but we may be able to do it on stream. I have one of my partners pushing time while we do this. So. Alright, I'm going to add this to the BUSD pool. And now you see, because one of my partners, oh, this is a nonce issue. Because one of my partners is moving blocks, and on a side chain, things are weird. So this is why I have to clear my nonce. But the reason why it's gone to 3% is because he's moving blocks. So time is moving forward. Here we go. Now I have this BUSD position. Let me see. Yeah, we have such a small amount of in this that the AFP, we would have to move a lot of blocks for the AFP to show up. But when you do earn AFP, the way that you can withdraw it from your NFT position is either down bottom, you click withdraw, and it will withdraw all of your AFDLP from the farms. Or up top, where you can just claim your AFP. Oh, and as you can see, there is available AFP to claim. It's just such a small amount that it's not showing up here. But it'll likely let me still do it. Yep. So now I've claimed that AFP. And that's how it works. So I just claimed that AFP from the AFD BUSD pool. The reason why the AFP BNB has not shown up yet is because it requires someone to do an action in that pool for the rewards to be made available to this intermediary contract. So if I was to do a deposit, for example, on the BNB pool, it's going to send the AFP from the Pigs Master Chef to the NFT farm management contract, and that is going to make those AFP available to claim. See? So you don't need to be the one to send more to the contract or do anything to make that happen. If anybody sends any LPs from an NFT into the farm, it's going to claim the AFP associated with that farm, with the NFT's farm's position, and send that AFP over to the contract and make it available for everybody to claim them. So I'll claim them. Okay. And that's something that will be happening constantly. Yeah, it's such a small amount that it's not showing up here because there's not enough decimals, but you just saw how that works. And now, let me see, withdraw. This is going to withdraw from the auto compounding. So that's what this is for down here. It's going to withdraw from the AFD BNB that was created in the auto compounding pool. Right. So that's what that's for. And it worked. That's it, guys. That's a full rundown of how it works. It's intuitive. It's clean. As you can see, these are my stakes. I can manage them. I go in here, do withdraw all of them. Okay. Now that goes back to the NFT that was just holding it. And that's it. And you can see which NFT was holding it by looking at the ID. That's it, guys. Oh, I guess while we're here, I could try something. I'm not 100% sure this will work right now, but or if it will be a good representation, but I can show mobile as well. So is this working on Streamlabs? Yes, it is. So this is what it looks like on mobile. So the tables are stacked like this. As you can see, it shows the date, the tax reduction, withdraw. These are the NFTs. If you click on it by like pushing your finger on it, it makes it larger. You can see it's a little bit funny. That's because I'm recreating it on a browser. I'm recreating mobile on a browser, which is something that's kind of weird. But the NFT that you're trying to manage goes right here because I clicked on it. See? See? And I can do all of the same actions. Withdraw. That's it, guys. That's mobile. Go to like iPhone. Alright, guys. So we're gonna be doing this Friday, 11 a.m. EST. My developer that I'm going to be pushing it with is on a flight, meaning he's going to be on a flight earlier that day. He should be back and to his hotel by like 6 a.m. Plenty of time to set everything up. It's already ready to go. We just need to run the script to push it. If for whatever reason his flight's delayed or anything like that, there's plenty of time, right? The flight could be delayed by 3-4 hours, and we'll still have plenty of time. But if anything comes up that would cause if his flight's delayed for whatever 6 hours or something, then we'll let people know. But it still should not be an issue because he does not need. I'm going to be the ones to run the script, but I would like him to be available in there. So the plan is 11 a.m. EST, but I would say 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. To be safe, right? Just in case his flight's delayed or something like that. And that's it. I mean, this isn't like a token launch or anything like that. So it's going to happen that day at that time. But, whether you show up an hour after or 2 hours after, it doesn't really matter. And then we're ready to go for the big migration, which is something I haven't been more excited about this ever when it comes to development, because this is something that is sustainable. It is going to have a massive impact on the economics of our assets. So the inflation rate of AFP and AFD is about to reduce by 70+%. We're about to increase the amount of capital that's going to the stakers of non-native assets in the form of APY paid out in the assets that they're staking. So BNB, Bitcoin, ETH, USDT, USDC, BUSD, by a factor of 20 to 30x, right? We're going from 30% APY, 35% APY to 800x. 800% APY, 1200% APY. And the way we're able to do that is through the power of market making, range optimization, and compounding. So, for example, the BNB BUSD liquidity provider APY, just what you're able to earn in fee collection, is 55% APY. This is not including dogs that we're paying out. But this is also not considering compounding. So when you're earning 55% APY in BNB and BUSD, and then taking that BNB and BUSD, adding it to your liquidity position, increasing the APY that you're able to earn exponentially, it turns that 55% into 800%, 900%, 1200% by the end of the year. And that is while reducing the amount of AFP and AFD that we're paying out. On top of that, rather than relying on deposit withdrawal fees to send capital to the pig pen and to send capital to buy back our native assets, we're using a portion of the liquidity provider fees that are being earned to go to the pig pen and to buy back our native assets. So this is a way more consistent, sustainable, and compounding cash flow, which is going to drive the amount of capital that is going towards our native assets by more than 30x, because it's not just comparing what users were earning before an APY to after. It's a whole different model, because when you're reliant on deposit and withdrawal fees, most users, especially the long-term users, are only going to deposit and withdraw once. So that's not a sustainable and consistent cash flow. But when we're taking a small amount from the liquidity provider fees and optimizing the liquidity position, so someone in our platform is earning way more than they would earn in just a normal liquidity position, it's worthwhile for the user because they're earning way more, and we're able to drive way more capital into our native assets and to the pig pen. On top of that, we're in the syrup pool right now on V2. They've cut down cake emissions on V2 drastically, and then also the way they're determining the amount of APY you're earning in cake on V2 is just a flat amount. It's this percentage. Whereas on V3, it's based on the amount of capital that you have exposed to the current trading price. And because we're doing this range optimization, we're able to maximize our ability to earn in the syrup pool. And right now, our range optimized position is earning over 10 times in the syrup pools what we're earning in the V2 syrup pools. That's because more emissions are allocated to it, and we're able to collect more of those emissions through the optimization. So we're about to do something very powerful, and it's just the start, right? After this, we're going to either Piggy Plinko or single asset lending. Both I'm extremely excited about. Single asset lending is going to revolutionize the lending market in a major way. It's going to do what DEXs did to centralized exchanges to the lending market, and the space needs it. Look what just happened to Curve. Look at the low liquidity markets due to variable interest rates that don't allow big institutions to get involved because it's too volatile. Now, our model will allow for fixed rates at a range that the lenders and borrowers settle upon. So it's a truly decentralized way to do it, but also a way more efficient way to do it. So this is just the start, guys. I'm extremely excited, and I'll see you on Friday.